Hey everybody, watch this review here with the next installment of my critically acclaimed Invaders from Another World week. This time we'll be looking at Spiral, courtesy of the Marvel Legends Red Hulk line, which was Hasbro line, Target exclusive, meaning I picked up a few of these guys on eBay. The Target exclusives I actually didn't have as hard of a time with, or wouldn't have had as hard of a time with as the Walmarts, whereas Walmart has had maybe a dozen different exclusives between the DC Universe Classics and the Marvel Legends, where I've never seen any of them in ever. I mean, I might have seen maybe a few of the Marvel Legends from one of the lines that I didn't want, but other than that, of course, the ones I did see for the Red Hulk series in Target weren't the ones I really cared about, so that's sort of, yeah. But we're talking about Spiral right now, so I'm not going to try to get off topic. Now, Spiral's a pretty late entry. I mean, logically speaking, you'd expect her to see her during the Mojo series, just because you already had Longshot in there, and she's one of Mojo's lackeys. Other than that, you know, it's really cool to actually have her out and so forth, even though there are some, I guess, some issues with articulation. Also, the video actually, this is the second shoot of the video. I kept calling her Shiva in the original video, you know, like the Mortal Kombat character, which I thought looked kind of silly, even if I was to just toss in annotations. You know, I was thinking of the Children of the Atom fighting game, and once you start thinking fighting games, your mind naturally transitions to Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat's of the world. So, and plus the video ended up cutting off midway through just because it hit the internal limitation. But she comes with 4 accessories, not including the Red Hulk piece, which was the head, which I don't count. And there is a variant version, or she's the variant version of her available, where it's like a lighter blue and then it's got like a stripe down the middle. I mean, I got this one loose. I can't remember what I paid for it, but as you can see, she comes with a scimitar, a normal like broadsword, the helmet, which is removable, unlike some DC series where you have a variant without the helmet, which is like the lamest thing ever, and of course the scimitar in the sheath is also removable, but not the scimitar from the sheath. It's all one piece. In terms of articulation, I mean, it's a great looking figure, first of all. Let me just say that right now. Let me just pause so I can fix this piece of paper. I'm obviously going to have to do something about this stuff later on. The way that my backdrop is set up right now is just clearly not working, but let me try to remember what I was even talking about the other video. But the arms, I mean, she's got 6 arms obviously, so they gimped us a bit on the articulation. All arms basically have the same articulation, which is just the wrist, double jointed elbow, and just the shoulder / arm. So you don't even have like a bicep joint or anything else in these. All of them are basically the same. I think the variant actually had another metal arm as opposed to a fleshy one, so I hate this frickin' paper. Head'll move, but not much because the hair is pretty extreme and just eats up a ton of the sculpt. Looks kind of funky from the sides, by the way, just from the way all the arms are implemented, but I mean, you have to fit 6 arms in there, so they had a challenge on their hands. The arms kind of do get in the way if you're trying to, like, just do stuff, but she appears in a number of video games, including the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and much before that, the Children of the Atom, which was a early Marvel fighting game featuring the X-Men and X-Men villains, so I best remember her for. But as you'll see, there's a torso joint here, as opposed to the waist and ab/diaphragm. I mean, it serves the function of both. It's kind of like the DC Universe Infinity Crisis figures, where they just have the torso joint. I mean the ab/diaphragm instead of a normal waist one. The other thing is the legs aren't even as articulate as other legs from the other Marvel Legends, which are kind of gimped in the first place, just because it's all just one solid sculpt here. So go out like this. It doesn't have that little thing which allows you to twist up at the top of the thigh, because it's sculpted in here with like these crinkles in the pants. And actually the knee too, it's just one joint. It's got like a little peg joint, which you've seen in some other figures, so you can move it side to side and so forth in a 360, then bend out. Which is cool for like posing, but a lot of people don't like this because it's kind of chintzy. And then of course the feet will move side to side mostly. They could move up and down, but I mean you really can't do much with it. It's the way the whole thing's sculpted, but I mean, the entire lower body is just sculpted more for appearance's sake than for articulation, which is 100% cool in my book. But I mean, I guess we were better off having Hasbro do this one as opposed to Toy Biz, even though it would have made more sense to see her with the Blob one. I mean, not the Blobs. Frick, the Mojo series. But other than that, I mean, it's really kick-ass. I'm happy with the figure. I really like the sculpt and so forth. It can't do a ton, and you only have 2 swords for 6 arms, but other than that, it's pretty cool. Her mutant abilities, the only one I really remember is the fact that she's able to cut her way through different dimensions, but I don't think she's actually a mutant. She might just be a witch. I can't remember the backstory, but she has a long-standing relationship with Longshot no matter what continuity she's in. Actually, it even leads to her origin in some stories where she's like helping Longshot out, and in the process of that ends up getting caught by Mojo. And she ends up serving Mojo and getting really pissed off at Longshot for like letting her fall into this position. But yeah, pretty kick-ass figure. One of the better from the Red Hulk series, I think. I can't remember many of the Red Hulk ones offhand. I mean, as I mentioned, I bought this one loose, meaning no Red Hulk piece, which was the head. I don't know if I mentioned that or not either, but yeah, pretty cool figure. I'd definitely pick it up again if I hadn't already bought it. And, until next time.